Stop thinking, man. You're gonna hurt yourself. Well, it's just when the Sens play the Leafs at home, it's pretty much a road game for them. But then they play the Leafs on the road, and it's still a road game. Well, there could be home games for Erik Karlsson soon. Ah, good one. But enough about Drew Doughty. Yeah, let's stop talking about Oliver Ekman-Larsson and start the video. Hi! Leafs Nation, stand witness for Austin Lucas! Full biblical! Austin Matthews is the Leaf! Why do I watch hockey? Stress relief, mostly. Victory, puppies! Yeah, boys, the Leafs won! The Leafs won! You guys tired? Lazy Sunday? Come here, buddy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, the most tired boys. Here, boys, high five. Can I have a... Oh, okay, good. How about you? No? My firstborn son. High five. High five for Mitch Marner. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Father, let us escape this prison. Okay, fine. Go see Mom. Leafs win 6-3 over the Ottawa Senators. Sometimes it's funny how things work out. Let's go back in time to the 8th game of the season. The Leafs have a stellar 6-1 record until they head to Ottawa to play the Senators. The Senators at home get out to a 3-0 lead, and though the Leafs tried valiantly to come back, they ultimately did not, losing 6-3. And though the Leafs look really good up until that point in the season, and fans are gloating, yeah, well, at least the Leafs are still the Leafs, they don't beat the Sens. And the Sens remain somewhat of a boogeyman to the Leafs, which pisses me off because I'm a Leafs fan. The Senators live for beating the Leafs, and until you can actually beat the Sens, you're not allowed to brag about being able to beat the Sens. Well, fast forward, the seasons go in opposite directions. The Leafs do stage a pretty good comeback win against the Sens on their home turf. And then in this game right here, the Leafs get out to a 3-0 lead. The Sens try to come back. They can't, and the Leafs hold on for the win. With their 70th and 71st points of the season, the Leafs are now 19 points up on a playoff spot in the Atlantic. But with their third straight win and a record of 8-2-0 in their last 10, the Leafs pull within 3 points of the Boston Bruins. And 8 of Tampa. Granted, Tampa has played 2 fewer games. Boston has played 4 less. But keep chipping away, you never know. Eyes in front. And with an attitude like that, you will go through your opponents like the Leafs did in this one. Holy crap! I actually got a hold of the transcript of the conversation Mike Babcock had with Mitch Marner before the game. Alright, Mitchie, the Sens got some jumps, so we gotta call in our secret weapon. Here's your bottle of Mountain Dew like I promised. Ah, cool. Thanks, Dad. Mike? No problem. That's not all I wanted to talk to. Mitch, can you pay attention? Sorry, what? Oh my god. Mitch, I'm gonna give you a second bottle. What? That's right, Mitchie. It's Saturday. There's no school tomorrow, so you get to stay up past your bedtime. I can have another bottle of Mountain Dew because
you get to stay up past your bedtime.
And with that, he was no longer number 16, Mitch Marner. He was Super Saiyan Mitch Marner with a brilliant flash of neon green hair. First minute of the game, scoring chance. Second minute of the game, the Sens are just looking at him. They don't even know what to do. Mitch Marner gets the bucket. His 11th of the season, just a minute 55 into the game, 1-0 Leafs. Less than halfway through the period still, William Nylander just Harlem Globetrotters around the Sens zone. He sends it to Austin Matthews, who was left all alone. What an unfortunate decision for you, little shit. We gawk at Austin Matthews, and we should, for his incredible shot and his goal totals, but the amount of times William freaking Nylander makes teams forget Matthews exists is incredible. I don't even know what to call that. He's got those snake charmer skills. Look at me getting caught up in all that. There's still 4 more Leaf goals to go. Kadri busts into the zone, leaves it for Patrick Marleau, who is uncontested. 2 Sens defenders looking at Patrick Marleau, who sends it over to Mitch Marner, who is uncontested. Snake dirty doesn't on the season for him, and 1 goal for each bottle of Mountain Dew. The Leafs are up 3-0 by Craig Anderson. Freddie standing back there like, there can be only one. Where did you get that? Leafs up 3-0 after 1. Whew. You know what's funny? There's been a bunch of times recently, especially during this incredible run that the Leafs are on, where I've gone, I don't know, did the other team just have an off night? And I mean, the Sens are third last, but like this was done in the first minute. So it's a combination of the Sens didn't have the greatest game and they barely even showed up to the arena. And also, the Leafs did something that we were yelling at them for in the first couple months of the season. They started on time. They outshot the Sens 14-4 in the first. Oh my god, they outshot the Sens 14-4 in the first. Oh, do I even want to look? So, have you heard of this? There's this Twitter account at MOTB Leafs. It's Leafs Money on the Board. As they describe themselves, Leafs Money on the Board charity campaign. Leafs fans coming together to raise money for the MLSE Foundation, having fun in the process. So basically what you do is you can pick any player you want and you can bet on anything you want. So for example, you could say, I'm donating $34 for every Austin Matthews goal tonight. Or I'm donating $1 or $2 for every Freddie Anderson save. You can do shots, you can do hits, you can do Corsi. And last night I pledged $1 for every Leafs shot attempt. And apparently the Leafs had 29 shot attempts in the first period alone. And just going through the box score on hockeyreference.com, the Leafs ended the night with 74 shot attempts for, or 74 Corsies. So I'm going to donate $74 to the MLSE Foundation. They picked a hell of a night to have a great night. So go ahead and follow MOTB Leafs yourselves if you're interested, and you can put money on the board. Nazem Kadri had 12 shot attempts alone, which means he alone cost me $12. In fact, every single Leaf who was on the ice last night, except for Freddie Anderson, had at least one. So it was a team effort. Second period, Johnny Oduya, pretty much uncontested, just blasted past Freddie. Sens get on the board. But about 5 minutes later, Leafs on the power play. Marner over to... Wait, did it? Marner throws the puck in front. It goes off Cody Ceci and in. It looks like Marner might have a hat trick. The puck like glanced off of JVR. But you know what? Cody Ceci was charging the net to get to JVR. So if JVR is not in front of the net, Cody Ceci is not in front of the net. Therefore, that goal doesn't go in. So JVR deserves that goal. Sorry, Mitch, but 4-1 Leafs. Third period. 45 seconds in. Phaneuf takes a shot. The puck goes off a Senator in front and goes into the other net this time. Derek Brassard gets credit. Sens now 4-2. But just 2.5 minutes into the period, less than 2 minutes after this goal, the Leafs show their strength again. All Phaneuf has to do is go get the puck in the corner. Actually, he doesn't even have to get the puck. He just needs to be there first. Speed kills. Marner beats him. Icing negated. Marleau gives it back to Marner. Fake passes to Kadri. Number 18 on the season. The 3-goal lead is restored again. Did I mention the 2-year anniversary of the Leafs trading Phaneuf to the Sens was just a couple days ago? 6.5 minutes ago, the Leafs allow one more goal. This one was just sloppy. Bozak doing his damnedest by blocking the first shot, but Dermott having a hell of a time in front. He didn't have the best game. Connor Brown is in a battle, and then he just abandons it, and it's just kind of standing there in the corner, accomplishing nothing. Ryan Dzingel fires it on Freddie, and the Sens are back within 2. But clock winding down, Marner in an epic battle for the puck with Erik Karlsson. Karlsson falls down. Marleau gets the puck, shoots, scores his 18th of the season. Leafs win 6-3. The Sens fans might be like, don't you think you should mention? No, I will mention. Karlsson might have had a point. I don't think Marner knocked Karlsson down. I think Karlsson accidentally knocked himself down. But what Karlsson, I think, was objecting to is Marner with a little bit of obstruction heading into the Sens zone. But all I know is the goal counted, and that ended up being Marner's 30th assist. Wait a minute. This got pointed out on Twitter. Look at Marner's stats. Look at Nylander's stats. Wait, what the heck, twinsies? And there's now a 3-way tie in the Leafs for the most assists. Jake Gardiner, William Nylander, and Mitch Marner with 30 assists apiece because it's fun to share. And Marner with a 5-point night, becoming the 5th youngest player to have a 5-point night. Oh, wow. Matt Barzal looks and just goes cute. Hey, we'll steal John Tavares. I don't want any of your lip. Hey, we will steal John Tavares. I don't want to hear your lip. Sens fans, if I were you. All right, you're in a very strange position. All right, you're in an awkward position, but it's not totally irredeemable. Yeah, you traded the pick in the Matt Duchene thing, but it's conditional, so if you win the lottery, you can keep it. And then you get Rasmus Dahlin, and that just changes your entire outlook for the future. Regardless of what happens there, tanking's still the right thing to do at this point. Plus, it'll probably save your owner some money, which I'm sure he would love. What I would do is, I would be horribly miserable. But what the positive side of me would tell myself to do if I could step outside of myself would be to look at the positives. All right, so people are leaving the front office. They don't want anything to do with this thing. There's all this talk of relocation. You got a crazy owner. But how long do we expect that to last? I would hope if I were you, I would have to hope if I were you, that Melnyk is eventually just going to get sick of it and sell the team. And in terms of relocation, but like within Ottawa, like it sounds like it's going to happen. Maybe. The Duchene deal looks way better since Duchene turned back into Duchene. You don't have many expiring guys you could sell off, but like Derek Brassard strikes me as exactly the type of player that teams would pay way too much for at the deadline. I'm not saying it's exactly similar to Colorado, although it is a little bit. This was just one of those seasons where everything that could have possibly gone wrong did. I'm not saying next season is going to be totally better, but it'll be better. At least that's how I would look at it if I were you. Actually, wait, no. If I were you, I'd become a Leafs fan. There we go. Problem solved. Questions. How long does the Carrick versus Polak rotation last? Would Babcock do it in the playoffs? Well, that whole thing got a little more complicated the other day when Andreas Borgman got an injury in the minors. But, I mean, he's been doing it all season. I don't see why he wouldn't. Might depend on the matchup. Might depend on penalty killing because Tampa is tied for the second best power play in the entire league, although Boston is still 9th. Look, I greatly prefer Carrick over Polak. I don't think that's a secret. But I'm fully willing to admit that he has not played so amazingly great that he has just wrestled that position away from him entirely. Same with Levo. I think there would be a lot of times, especially like before recently, where Levo should have been in the lineup. But like Mike Babcock's book is titled, leave no doubt. And to Polak's credit, he at very least does what the coach asks of him. Babcock's stubborn, but he's not stupid. The Leafs are a fast team. They're built on speed. This game showed it, and he knows. How all day are the Buds? How fun is MOTB? Should I get a dog? Should Leafs fans feel bad for Sabres fans with Eichel injured? Oh, the Buds are very all day. MOTB is very fun. I highly recommend dogs. That's up to you. And yes, Leafs fans should feel bad for Sabres fans for Jack Eichel's injury. Because I saw that the Sabres tweeted he has a high ankle sprain, and I'm like, oh, that's terrible. My second thought was the Leafs play the Sabres 4 more times this season, and the angel on this shoulder was like, oh my god, they do. I mean, no, that's terrible, Steven. Come on, sportsmanship. What do you think of Chris Johnson and Kipper's reports from intermission? No extension talks with JVR, Bozak, Leo. Teams calling about JVR, but him being allegedly unavailable for trade. Matt Martin not requesting a trade. It's funny. The thing that will make us feel the best is having an answer. Will JVR get traded? Will the Leafs lose him for nothing? Will he get extended? We just want to know an answer. But it's funny. This fan base just hasn't had a team in this position. Hasn't had a good team for a while. I feel like this happens to good teams. And if players want to stick around, good teams will find a way to make that happen. But another thing good teams do is they are able to replace those players with cheaper, better players. Or at very least, players who are cheaper and will be better in the future. The no extension talks doesn't bother me. The no trade talks doesn't bother me. Look, it'd be great to get assets for those guys, don't get me wrong. But not only are the Leafs in a slam dunk playoff spot, which they have been for a few months, but they're one of the hottest teams in the league. You're going to sell in that position? Okay. And Matt Martin not requesting a trade doesn't mean you can't trade him. Although with the playoffs around the corner and injuries being a thing that often happens, you might want to keep him around. On a scale of 1 to 10, how impressed have you been by Cappy and Dermott? Dermott I've been incredibly impressed with his skating. I think he might be the best skater on the team already. He's very creative. He's a little bit chaotic in his own end, and he could do without penalty. I'm going to give Dermott a 6.9 because I don't want to give him a 7, and I think 6.5 is too low, and 6.9 is funny. I didn't think he'd be this good. He's better than I thought. He's not a god yet. I think he could be, but he's good. Kapanen, I gotta give an 8 because I think it's harder to do what Kapanen has done. Nylander got his taste before joining the Leafs and Hyman, but they were given big roles right out of the gate. When the next season began, guys like Hyman, Nylander, Matthews, Marner, they all started in big roles. I think it's harder to get called up mid-season and be asked to be an effective fourth liner. It's hard. Most fourth liners are on the fourth line because they're not as effective as their peers. And you're a rookie and you just got there and you haven't been playing with these guys. And Kapanen has been called up and he scored a couple goals, but he's killing penalties. He's excellent in a defensive role and he's the fastest man on the planet. I gotta give him an 8 because he's not the best that the Leafs have, but man, he is doing everything he needs to do to become a Toronto Maple Leaf full-time. Can you please just show a picture of Marie-Philippe Poulin for 5 seconds? That's honestly all I would like. Thank you and have a nice day. Thank you. Have a nice day as well. Actually, it's funny you should ask for that. I actually got to interview MPP at the Winter Classic in Boston between the Habs and Bruins. And I asked her if I could get a picture after that I could like use in the interview on the Sportsnet website. Except I'm not a good photographer. I don't even know if we ended up using them, but I still have them, so... That's enough. But hey, speaking of segues, with the 2018 Pyeongchang Winter Olympics going on, there's obviously some hockey. And a friend of mine, his name is Joe Pack, he did a video with Marie-Philippe Poulin, not interviewing her. He was the goalie. And I want to support my friend, but no, he got murdered. And if you want to see the interview where in the middle of it, she murders him, there's a link down below.
So before we started shooting, she took some warm-up shots. I made the first few saves, but I think that was when she was probably still pitying me. But after that, even at 15% for her, she was making me slide around like Vesatoskala, so that felt good. We were, trying to recreate her tying and winning goals from Sochi, but as much as I'm not supposed to stop those pucks in the video, that is really me flailing. But if you want to really see me get torn apart, you should watch that video of me and Natalie Spooner from that downtown rooftop rink in Toronto from a couple years ago. So, enjoy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Joe also almost got dangled off the roof by Natalie Spooner. Link to both things down below. There's also a link to my merch down below, and you should buy it because people frown upon it when you don't wear clothes in public. There's also mugs and bags and stickers, etc. And with that being said, sorry this is so late. I was just having a lazy Sunday, but that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like to tell all your friends. Mike, you gotta give Mitch 2 bottles more often.